Hi, my name is Cliff, and I'm going to give you my testimony on how I received the Holy Ghost. I met my future wife in 1995, and I started attending prayer meetings at Pastor John's place in Henderson, North Carolina. And I used to sit in the back of the room during prayer meetings, and I think it was either early 1996 or late 95 he started teaching a New Testament class. As he was teaching the crucifixion of Jesus and what Jesus went through on that cross, and knowing that he didn't have to do it, that he could have called the legions of angels down and it could have been all over, but he did it because he loved us. It meant a lot to me. It meant the kind of love I never knew, and it was just hard for me to know that somebody thought that much of me. So that was on a Saturday night, and then on that Sunday morning we had prayer meeting, and I was sitting in the back of the room, and they started having prayer. They had prayer time. During prayer time, Pastor John was praying for people. I had started working my way up to the big column there at the place that we used to attend, and there was an elder saint there named Uncle Joe. And he turned around, looked at me, and said, "Boy, that water's turning. You need to jump in it." And he took his arm and he pushed me into the center of the room. Well, as I'm standing there, I'm right behind Pastor John, and he turns around, lays his hands on me, and that's the first time I was prayed for, and I fell out on the floor. And while I was down there, I believe it was Sister Caroline and Brother Wendell was praying for me on each side, and the Lord was telling me, if you pay your tithes and offerings and start spending more time around God's people, I'm going to give you the Holy Ghost. So after that meeting that day, I went back to Julie's house, and we were eating supper. And we were all sitting around the table, and I was explaining what my experience was, and the Spirit fell, and I had slid underneath the table on my knees, and I had a bad left knee which I had operated on when I was in the service, and it was really hard for me to bend that knee in that direction. Well, as I was down there and people were praying for me, her mother Sheila was on the phone calling saints to come over and pray for me, help me get the Holy Ghost. Well, as I was down there and people were around me, the Spirit told me, "Earl Pittman walks in the door, you're going to get the Holy Ghost." And I never knew anybody had called Earl. Well, as Earl walks in the door, he sees me, and I fall down on my knees, and he lays his hands on me, and I bend backwards, and I'm flat, my back's flat on the floor. My knee could never have done that without God's help. And I started speaking in tongues, and we had a very good prayer meeting.